Yesterday was the Supreme Court hearing on Trump financial records cases. And interestingly, and the Times mentions this, it seems like every quarter century something comes up, about every 23 years to be exact, that the Supreme Court considers whether presidents have to abide by the rules that the rest of us have to abide by, right? Now, here's the deal. In 1974, the Supreme Court unanimously required Nixon to turn over tapes of conversations in the Oval Office. 23 years later, in 1997, the Supreme Court unanimously required Bill Clinton to respond to a sexual harassment suit. So here we are, yesterday, almost exactly 23 years after the ruling in the Clinton case. The United States Supreme Court confronted an equally significant showdown, this one over Trump's continuing efforts to block demands from two House committees and New York prosecutors for his tax returns and other financial information. Because Trump is a thug, a thief, a liar, a fraudster, a gangster. He steals shit. He commits crimes in just about any sense of the word. He's a criminal. And so his tax returns are absolutely necessary to see the depth to which this criminal son of a bitch has gone. Now, the earlier cases, Nixon and Clinton, were argued in courtrooms, not this time, in the Supreme Court courtroom, but not this time. And in these previous cases, only the people in attendance inside the Supreme Court visitors section were able to hear what the oral arguments were. But this time, the arguments were heard by telephone because of this virus pandemic. And the public was able to listen in to see how the questioning by the justices progressed. Now, this case about this gangster foreign agent son of a bitch who is president of the United States. He's a foreign agent in that he works for the Russians ultimately because they own his ass. But the case will test, how this case turns out will test the Supreme Court, which is unlikely to produce the consensus that was achieved in both the Nixon and Clinton cases. Those were both unanimous rulings. And even the appointees put on the court by Nixon, the appointees put on the court by Clinton, in both respective instances, those appointees, those nominees who became appointees, voted against the argument put out there by first Nixon and then Clinton. However, that was then, and this is now. We have two sexual molesters on the court, a white man and a black man. We have a couple of drunks, a little bit different now. Trump put Neil Gorsuch, who never should be on the court. That seat belonged to someone else, the one that Obama had nominated, but that pig son of a bitch, Mitch McConnell, more on him in a minute, refused to allow a hearing on his nomination. And then the other one, Brett Kavanaugh, the rapist, the drunk. Now, Trump was represented in these cases, interestingly, or this case, by private lawyers. Don't want any record of this going into the presidential library, right? Private, attorney-client privilege. Don't fool yourself into thinking that, oh, well, that's just saved the taxpayers some money. He was private lawyers. Horse shit. You know why he did it. Anyway, Trump made all kinds of claims in the cases, including that he can't be criminally investigated, charged, convicted as long as he remains in office. This is why he will do anything to remain in office after November 3rd this year. The justices also are concerned about the possibility of investigations driven by partisanship. That's going to be the 5 conservatives on this court, I'm afraid. They're going to say, well, this investigation is driven by partisanship, not a legitimate need for information. Now, the case says, a couple of them, concern subpoenas from New York prosecutors, Manhattan prosecutors, and House committees seeking information from Trump's accountants and bankers, not from Trump himself. The firms have indicated, the bankers and accountants, they've indicated they'll comply with the subpoenas unless the Supreme Court rules that they don't have to. Okay? Now, had the prosecutors in the New York case, in the New York case, had they saw evidence from Trump himself, there was at least a possibility that he would try to defy, like Nixon said he would, a court ruling against him, which would have once again prompted a constitutional crisis. How many times have you heard that phrase since this gangster son of a bitch has been president? How many times? I have yet to see a constitutional crisis. What I see is a constitutional bonfire. One of the subpoenas was directed to Mr. Trump's accountants, Mazars, USA, by the office of the Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance Jr., a Democrat. Oh no, a Democrat. That case arose from an investigation by Cyrus Vance's office into hush money. Come on, Mike. Into hush money payments to 2 women who said they had affairs with Trump. And, of course, Trump denies. No! What are you talking about? Never happened. And we've seen enough evidence, haven't we, to know goddamn good and well that, yes, it did happen. Oh, please, Jesus Christ. It was in the case from Manhattan that Mr. Trump's lawyers argued that he was beyond the reach of the justice system as long as he remains in office. So, and this is, I'm gleaning this from the New York Times. So Trump's argument that he has maintained since he's been president concerning everything is that you and I and the other 330 million of us have got to follow the law, county law, or city ordinance, county ordinance, state law, federal law. We've got to follow the law. He's the only person who doesn't. Now, does that make sense? Why am I asking you, right? Does that make sense? The United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit in New York rejected Trump's request to block the subpoena, saying only the state prosecutors may require third parties to turn over president's financial records for use in a grand jury investigation. So Trump has tried every trick he can think of to shield. It's not coronavirus. It's pollen. Trump has fought hard to shield his tax returns from scrutiny for reasons that have been the subject of much speculation. What do you suppose is in there? Let me ask you something. Would you be reluctant to have your tax returns made public? I damn sure wouldn't. I think 99.9% of us, who gives a shit? I mean, as long as certain names were blocked out, but as far as where the money came from, how much was owed, how much was paid in taxes, yada, 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 big fucking deal, right? I mean, if you just do your taxes. Just sit down, have your accountant, just do the fucking taxes. It's part of being an American citizen. Now, I realize a lot of people lie, cheat, and steal. I get that. And I also know that the biggest liar, cheater, and thief in American political history is this fucker, this Russian agent who sits in the Oval Office now. I get that too. So let's have a look at what you have lied, stolen, who you've stolen from, how much you've stolen, how much you cheated. Let's just take a look. But Trump says, no, I'm above the law. I do any fucking thing I want to do. I can on Fifth Avenue. And not only can you stop me from shooting, I can shoot a person on Fifth Avenue, but I can also then shoot every fucking body else that comes into range. I can shoot the cops that come to try to stop me, but they can't stop me. They can't do anything. All they can do is drop dead or hide shit, I mean, but I'm the president. Bang, 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 bang. Kill, bang, 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 bang. Not only can you not arrest me, you can't stop me, you can't investigate me, you can't charge me, you can't try me, you can do nothing, motherfucker, because I am the president of the United States. That is Trump's argument. Now, the dickless fuckers who walk around with the AR-15s, whatever they are, and protest the fact that people are trying not to get sick and die from coronavirus, those dumb son of a bitches will probably come to his defense. Because they probably feel the same way. Yeah, I'll be able to kill people too. Them people.
Hi, Truth Seekers. Kathy Malloy here. During this global crisis, take care of yourselves and your family. Maybe catch up on your Malloy cast. We are 100% Truth Seeker supported, as you know, and over the last year, we've become a lean, mean, two-person broadcasting machine. We've tightened our belts so Mike can keep screaming into the night because we are committed to this fight. We won't surrender the airwaves or our country to the flying monkey fascists as long as you're joining us around the campfire. And by that, I mean supporting this program by funding Resistance Radio on Patreon. Any amount helps keep it lit and keep the lights on in the Malloy home studio. Patron supporters will have exclusive access to a special patron-only weekly broadcast, which will likely include me and possibly Molly. We also have some nice thank you gifts like an exclusive patron Truth Seeker t-shirt. Visit MikeMalloy.com and click on the big patron link on the main page. You can't miss it, and we can't do it without you.